This is the part where I massively clickbait you into watching the video and I don't give you any stats for like 15 minutes. But that actually drives me nuts when I'm trying to find solo builds. So if you enjoy the build and it's helpful to you, just leave the freaking video playing. I promise I'll try to be interesting, but I'm going to give you the goods up front. I'm not going to hold back. I have a solo spider, dragon, and ice golem Tyrant Ixlimor build that does not require insane stat checks. And I would go to my death on arguing that this guy's stats are terrible compared to the guides I've seen online. I think even compared to Optimizer, they are garbo. We don't even have maxed. I mean, it's just an accuracy amulet here. We would love this to be defense. We have a defense ring with at least some HP roll on it. We have a resistance chest that I need to do based on my gear. Yeah, we have gear that is some of my better gear, but is not fully ascended, not even close. And this one is an attack ascension. Here's also what we're using. The golden elixir allows you to cheese a lot of content with lower stats that you couldn't normally. And by cheese, I mean you still have to almost hit the thresholds, but you don't have to hit them quite as dang hard. If you have an opportunity to get these, or if it's sitting in your vault, use it. It's amazing on solo champs. Amazing. Chronum is also one of the guys that I'll hop these back and forth on if I have to move them. Right now it's on Tyrant. The other thing I had picked up here was Brimstone. This is a 1-star Brimstone. That is the difference between not being able to do Dragon at all and being able to do Dragon. That's it. Because the Dragon in Standard Dragon, and about hard actually, scales up his Fire Breath attack and he goes colorized 2025. And yeah, it scales up and eventually he one-shots Tyrant, who otherwise would be surviving. This guy gets a 15% chance of placing Smite, which slaps on the Dragon, and he gets 7,500 HP, which is fantastic. Now, he is fully booked out. You absolutely could look at disabling his A3. That would be totally fine for what we're doing here. I didn't want to have a comp that once again required me to set a preset. Now, Beast of Flame attacks one enemy, heals by 25%, heals by 50% if they're under an HP burn, which is great because this burn is actually crazy. 100% chance and a burn for 3 turns, and then his passive reduces damage by 10%. Let me show you what this looks like. I think probably no one will be surprised if we're good on Golem, because Golem is going to be the most straightforward. Let me show you Spider. Spider has taken some tweaking, and then I guess we'll look at masteries after the fact as well, or if this takes forever, we'll skip forward and you guys do the magic of the internet, etc. We'll be fine. Now, here's what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to manual right here because it's going to speed this up so he doesn't try to, oh, he doesn't even have to ally protect. Perfect. That's fantastic. We took a poison. Not good, right? Not good. Well, yeah, actually, you're right. It's not a good thing. If we can up his resistance a little bit here, that would be substantially better. But you'll see we are the proper affinity here, which helps us even more. And now that we've got burns on the spiders again, we'll be ticking him down. This is actually a great way to get your mission done for killing spiderlings. The clan quest, you know, pops up on the experts. I'm trying to think how many spiders that is. I should know, but I have collected the clan quest. Oh, heal right there of 11,000 and some change. That is the golden elixir kicking in. Now we've smited. It's a bummer it's not the big spider because the small ones don't really do anything. So they don't, smite only triggers on like an active ability if you didn't know that. We're totally fine though. We are going to be chunking forward. The only problem you're going to run into with, even with the stats that I showed, is that he doesn't resist 100% of the poisons. And that is where he will run into trouble. So if you can up this guy's resistance by, I guess, literally anything. I've gone in and glyphed this because I had a couple 100% runs initially and then I didn't have 100%. And I was like, oh no, I'm wasting crazy energy. This is insane. And so I've glyphed up his resistance and he's still taking some of them. So if you can prevent that, so much the better. Also have him in revenge accessories because again, we're doing this on honestly the lowest stats I've ever seen anyone do the solo builds on. Maybe somebody has a video out there on it, and then shout out to that. I've never seen it. To me, this is absolutely the lowest. This guy, I think, has less than 2,500 defense, and we're chunking through. We're going to get through our spider run. Every time he dips below 50%, he's going to get that 11,000 heal. So the spider did 31K, a big giga hit. We got 11,000 of it back immediately, and then he's fast enough to go again. If you're wondering why the food was in there, by the way, it's because we've got masteries with Spirit Haste, so he's getting speed from each of the food that have died. This is super common, actually, in solo builds, so maybe I should have mentioned that before, but we'll see it with the masteries. Now here, he's going to get low, It's going to get so low, but he gets his burn off and he gets a big heal. Boom. Now, if we hadn't taken any poisons, actually not even that close. Thanks, game, for the massive, massive freeze. And he ended up doing 17 million damage. Again, this, I think, is the lowest stats. I'm for sure the lowest that I have seen, period. Like, put some respect on Tyrant because he is doing this in the most garbo budget gear. Okay, he has 2,500 defense, 74,000 HP, and 312 resistance. I'd love to see that bump to 330 or 350. I cannot do it on the account. That doesn't go for me actually at all. What am I getting from Affinity? Only 40 here. So actually I have some points to spend. And then of course the Classic Arena. These are massively accessible stat checks, except maybe the resistance. But yeah, if people are building other solo farmers, they can absolutely build Tyrant because it's not even close how much better he is. Now, when we go into Dragon 20, what? I left my team in that I was trying to do 3-man speed runs. I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, let's get Tyrant in here again. In fact, I think Tyrant probably has some shades of like classic Conor McGregor in him. I'll show you guys. Let's let these guys, we'll just let him die anyway. Whatever. He already put his protection up. He stands there, hands low. He's trying to do like the Jose Aldo treatment here. And then he just randomly, this man comes right up the middle with a pop. Watch it. Boom. Boom. Or we would say bink. Well, maybe not we. I'm not actually in the fight game. But as the fight game would say, bink. This is what it looks like. He stands here. He beats him down. Now, the waves with Apothecary, which he will always clear. If Apoth is last to go, which thankfully this time he's not, these waves take forever. He has to hit Smite, and we're on a 15% because Apothecary speeds up and he goes again and he goes again and he goes again. It's 100% clear rate on it, but it's very, very annoying. One other thing on the build here that I should have mentioned looking at the gear, and here's the harder Apoth wave, is that we have him in Bolster. A Bolster only gives 10% instead of 15% regen. But Bolster gives him a really girthy, chunky HP shield at the beginning of each round. This is quite nice on these solo builds here. So now he's going to increase his defense. He's going to get a big, big brimstone here. And yeah, I mean, he's gaming. This guy finally has a solo build. I've been mentioning it for forever, but I finally got one together that is, I mean, that is a success. It doesn't help me or you guys, but like it doesn't help me. It's wasting my energy if it doesn't work. And finally, Tyrant is rocking and rolling. Now, we've seen with the spider a bunch of times, and actually on this run a couple times too, the golden elixir, it does proc, which is great because we're getting 11,000 heal. So yeah, super, super value. Boom, pops him, pops him, pops him. We also have War Master on him here as well. Oh, didn't show the masteries. Yeah, must be the personality higher. Brimstone on the first hit. That's extremely lucky. That I wish happened more. So that's not as reproducible actually, but it is really fantastic for a run on camera. Wonderful. Now here's the point where you go, oh, I'm just getting punked and we need more burn, which we got to burn. Amazing. And we just wait for Brimstone. Now, if you disable his A2, he'll run this faster because the A2 doesn't, there's a Brimstone, doesn't actually help us against the dragon. We don't actually need it. And then boom, a double hit. And because we've hit now a couple of these, oh, another Brimstone. Yeah, buddy. Now we've got this on cakewalk because the dragon's not going to one-shot him from here. Exactly. We might even squeeze one more out of it, I want to say. Okay, we're just not burning now. Is that a thing right now? Hey, Polarium. Polarium? We're just done burning now, I guess. Hello? Hello? Okay, so the skill setup would be a little helpful there. With any... oh, we'll keep that, actually. Yeah, we'll keep this one. Heck yeah. With any skill setup there, that looks a lot less spicy. But clears Dragon, and Dragon was impossible without Brimstone. Now, before I forget, I will actually show masteries, because I keep saying I will, and then I'm spacing it. Yeah, it's super fun. I'm excited to be able to put this one out. And here are our masteries. These are very normal, very vanilla. We took Enhanced Healing here. We took Steadfast. We took Heals the Champion first time an enemy is killed. This is actually a really, really nice one. Turn meter when the debuff expires because he's casting so many burns. And then increasing base stats with Lore of Steel. This one is great. Speed by 8 for each dead ally. This is huge. This is 24 extra speed. Of course, we took Whirlwind of Death as well. This is another 18. So what was it? Was that 24 and 18? We're looking at 46, which is pretty sick. This one is actually really good. This one doesn't get as much, I guess, Blood Shield. I never bothered with the name. This is amazing on early game campaign farmers and legitimately does not get enough credit. This occurs once per turn. Some of these occur once per round, for example. This is once per turn. This is a huge shield when he gets a kill. This is just kill streak. You guys know these are the basic damage ones. We take Life Drinker, so he gets 5% more heal. And we take War Master because we're actually needing to kill the boss. Should we show Golem? Is that a thing? Should we show Golem? Has all the retention left? Well, if all the retention's left, then I guess we might as well show Golem, huh? So we can prove, oh, this one, did I run? I must have run a preset on this one, huh? Can we do it without a preset? Oh, I know why I ran it. Because, so that dragon there usually burns. Here he doesn't, but I'll show it anyway in case you don't want to set a preset because I prefer comps that you don't need to. On Golem at the end, it takes forever because he just punches out the big Golem. And eventually, if he triggers it with like a War Master proc or a Smite or something, the Golem summons his buddies, the ads, and then he casts Burn. So the fight is actually insanely faster if the ads are up because of the burn, because he resists most of the attacks. Yeah, the Golem has been an absolute 100% for us. This is going to be a slow run, though. So I'm going to stand here. I'm going to have a drink of something like mug root beer. This one's actually empty. Wow, faking on YouTube, I know. And I'm going to catch you guys when he gets towards the end of the Golem, or maybe at the beginning of the Golem fight. But I know for a fact that nobody's going to want to watch a 6-minute run. And yeah, it's probably going to be 5 or 6 minutes on the run. So how it works here for your souls, if you haven't seen, is that probably for the groups too, right? He starts usually on the ads on the left. Occasionally will even go middle, but basically never goes right, at least off the jump. I don't know why. We've resisted most of it, not everything. We'll increase our defense here. We're pretty well chilling. And we're going to get a smite on the totally wrong target. And we're going to get a smite again on the totally wrong target. Once this guy dies, we should be in a pretty okay spot, though, and that's just how it goes. But the absolute ownage of us with the heal reduction is kind of actually toxic. Now we're back on healing. Because we're on the ads, well, it's not going to proc anything with the boss, so we're absolutely chilling. And we finally got an HP burn, but this is the point where sometimes he just punches him out. He just stands there and says, I'm going to give you the sweet science right up the middle. Sal D'Amato is watching this. Big fan of the fight, I should say. And yeah, but now that the minions are up, believe it or not, this is when it gets fast. And our speed here is actually pretty fine in my world. We're at a 340. I'm just thrilled to have a solo build, if you can tell. Because the minions are up, we're going to be popping HP burn damage on the boss. Something that we could not manage to do as he continually tries to use pugilism to beat him into submission. And we've basically done it. That's a 354 kill. We got a 6-star epic. Would we ever want defense? I don't know, but it is a 6-star piece in HP percent, and I do not have a lot of those. There we have it. Those are all 3 dungeons. And I really believe, genuinely, no YouTuber clickbait, I think this is the lowest overall requirement build I have ever seen for Tyrant, period. But remember, I have Brimstone. And now these stats that are added in are included in the total. So you guys can see here, but I have Classic Arena Bonus making up some of these. We have Masters making up some of these. These are all the substats that go into the big ones. But the 7,500 HP on the Blessing is big. That was a more than 10% boost. I can't imagine if you were to put a bigger Blessing on this guy. I think he would. Come on. What am I doing right now, casual? I think he would just absolutely roll. Like, let's say you were able to put a. Yeah, this one's Garbo for us. Yeah, a 3-star, 30% chance, doubling smite chance, and 600 defense. Amazing. 4-star, of course. Stuff like the crit damage, that's going to be helpful, but not as big a deal. And I have yet to have anybody with an actual 6-star smite, 6-star anything, ever. Maybe that'll be coming in a future video, but in like 2 years. Thanks for watching this Tyrant video, guys. I really believe is going to take you further if you need a solo build, and you've got this champ. He's not sitting in a vault somewhere, or maybe he is sitting in a vault as a vault guardian. I also want to give a big shout out to my friends at Aptoid for encouraging me to make some more videos. So thanks so much for that, guys. The link in the description is going to save you on your shards and gem pass. And yeah, I'm a filthy spender. I absolutely have daily gem pack, and I got daily energy, which was real nice for trying to grind up the rares for the rare only voids. Take it easy. Have a great night.